It is Monday, April 21st, 2025, and this is the latest breaking news for Colombia and throughout Latin America. I believe I have 10 good stories, so make sure you stay to the end. Let's jump into the first one right away. Another American found deceased in Medellin's El Poblado. Is this a pattern? Tragedy has struck once again in Medellin's popular El Poblado neighborhood, where an American citizen was found deceased inside his residence. Authorities have identified the man as 53-year-old Roy Anthony Biscar, originally from the United States. Biscar, who reportedly suffered from epilepsy and post-traumatic stress disorder, was discovered unconscious and unresponsive. Emergency responders arrived promptly, but despite their efforts, he was pronounced deceased. Officials have confirmed that no signs of violence were found at the scene. However, a specialized team from Colombia's CTI, the Technical Investigation Corps, is leading the investigation to determine the exact cause of his passing. This incident adds to the growing concerns about the safety and well-being of foreigners living in or visiting Medellin. El Poblado, often seen as a hub for international travelers and expats, has seen a rise in similar reports in recent months. Tonight, questions remain. Is this a tragic coincidence, or is there something deeper affecting Americans abroad? We'll continue to follow these developing stories. U.S. travel warning for Colombia and Venezuela. What you need to know. The U.S. Department of State has issued an urgent travel warning for Colombia and Venezuela, and you need to know the details before planning your trip. In Colombia, a Level 3 reconsider travel advisory covers areas like Arauca, Cauca, Norte de Santander, and Colombia-Venezuela border due to rampant violent crime, including deletion, assault, robbery, and organized crime like extortion and kidnapping. Meanwhile, Venezuela is under a Level 4 do not travel advisory, citing risk of wrongful detentions, terrorism, kidnapping, arbitrary law enforcement, crime, civil unrest, and poor health infrastructure. Adding to the tension, recent terrorist attacks in Antioquia, Colombia, including an explosive assault on a police patrol in San Pedro de los Milagros on April 16, 2025, injuring 3 officers who are linked to the Clan de Golfo. This notorious group blamed for retaliatory violence after the passing of alias Cheramoya continues to destabilize the region. Now, I don't know if you've used this before, but they gave a link in this article to be able to share with you, and I'm going to share it right now. It's actually travelmaps.state.gov. It looks like this could help you quickly identify in a visual manner. It's going to give you a map. And let me pull this up right quick. gov/TSG map. And this just shows you color coding. You can zoom wherever you want to go, or you can touch the area and it'll tell you this is a Level 4 do not travel. That's Venezuela saying don't go at all. But then Colombia, you see here is a Level 3. You can actually turn on which ones you want to see. So if I only want to see Level 3s, I can click on that and it just highlights everywhere in the world that it's a Level 3 or a 3 with risk. We know that's going to be Colombia. So certain areas in Africa, Middle East, do not travel. We know Venezuela is going to pop up, China, parts of Africa, parts of Mexico, do not travel. You know what? Let's see. Just for grins. Okay, the Gaza Strip is all in red, don't go. So this is just another tool that you can put in your arsenal to know where to go and where not to go. Okay, so there you go. This is just another tool that you can use to help identify locations that you may want to visit. Over to Colombia and China relations. Colombia plans to waive visas for China and other nations, boosting tourism and investment. In a significant diplomatic move, Colombian Foreign Minister Laura Sarabia announced the initiation of a process to eliminate visa requirements for citizens of China and several other countries. This decision aims to enhance tourism, trade, and foreign investment in Colombia. Currently, nationals from approximately 80 countries, including China, India, Cambodia, Nicaragua, Myanmar, Vietnam, Thailand, and Taiwan, require visas to enter Colombia. The proposed changes seek to remove these barriers, fostering stronger bilateral relations and economic growth. Minister Sarabia emphasized that the initiative is part of a broader strategy to facilitate international cooperation and dialogue. In recent months, Colombia has signed agreements with 15 countries, allowing visa-free entry for diplomats and holders of official passports. This policy shift reflects Colombia's commitment to becoming a more accessible and welcoming destination for global travelers and investors. Further details on the implementation timeline are expected in the coming weeks. Breaking news out of Medellin, Colombia. The infamous Happy Thief, known for swiping cell phones with a sly grin, has finally been apprehended in the Valle de Aburrá. This serial thief's reign of petty crime came crashing down thanks to relentless police efforts and state-of-the-art security cameras that caught every move of this person. Authorities tracked the suspect through bustling streets, nabbing him mid-heist. The community now celebrates as justice prevails, but questions linger about how he evaded capture for so long. Okay, so let me take a second right quick. If you have had goods stolen, maybe a cell phone or anything from your apartment or sitting on a table at a restaurant, make sure you report it to 123. If they find your phone, they are catching these people. Who's to say your phone's not going to be there? And to me, shoot, I'd fly in to pick up my phone. That's how important your phone is to us now. Make sure you report it to 123 anytime you have any instances at all. If there's no other reason to do it for that reason where you could possibly get your goods back. Okay, over to Peru. Machu Picchu slashes ticket prices in 2025. Half-off deal is now revealed. Big news for travelers in 2025, Machu Picchu is rolling out a jaw-dropping promotion, cutting ticket prices in half for select hours. From 6 to 7 a.m. and 3 to 4 p.m., adults can enter the iconic Inca city for just 32 soles, while students and kids aged 3 to 17 pay only 16. This deal applies to Peruvians, foreign residents, and visitors to Bolivia, Colombia, and Ecuador across 3 epic circuits: Panoramic, Classic, and Royalty. With a daily cap of 5,600 visitors, grab your tickets early on tuboleto.cultura.pe to explore this wonder of the world. Shocking Cartagena assault caught on film. Foreigner attacks the cashier. Chaos erupted at a Jumbo supermarket in Cartagena on April 17th when a foreign customer violently assaulted a cashier, sparking outrage. The incident captured on video shows the man striking the worker after a heated argument. Fellow employees and shoppers stepped up to defuse the tense situation, while others demanded police action. The attack has reignited debates over workplace safety, especially for women in retail. Social media is ablaze with calls for harsh penalties and better protections. In U.S. travel relations, Colombian travel to the U.S. drops 33% in March 2025. What's behind the decline? In March 2025, the number of Colombian visitors to the United States experienced a significant decline, dropping by 33% compared to the same month last year, according to the U.S. International Trade Administration. This marks the most substantial decrease among all countries during this period. The downturn follows a 2.3% reduction in Colombian travel to the U.S. observed in January and February, equating to approximately 6,000 fewer travelers compared to early 2024. Experts attribute this trend to escalating diplomatic tensions between the two nations. In January, the U.S. suspended visa services in Colombia after President Gustavo Petro's administration refused to accept deportation flights carrying Colombian nationals. This led to the cancellation of hundreds of visa appointments, leaving many prospective travelers in limbo. The decline in Colombian tourism is expected to have an economic repercussion. Goldman Sachs report suggests that the boycott of U.S. products and the reduction in international visitors could result in a 0.3% decrease in the U.S. GDP. As diplomatic relations remain strained, the future of Colombian travel to the United States hangs in the balance. We'll continue to monitor this developing situation. The U.S. Southern Command's chief stealth visit to Colombia sparks a buzz. Last week, Admiral Alvin Halsey, head of the U.S. Southern Command, made a whirlwind visit to Bogota, stirring intrigue by skipping a meeting with President Gustavo Petro. Admiral Alvin Halsey assumed command of the United States Southern Command on November 7, 2024, becoming the first African American to lead the institution in its over 60-year history. Touching down at CATAM military base, Halsey huddled with top Colombian military brass, including Admiral Francisco Cubinis, to discuss ongoing defense ties. The brief stop, kept under wraps until days later, has tongues wagging about diplomatic tensions and the future of U.S.-Colombian relations. So what's behind the snub, and what's next for this key partnership? Over to Costa Rica. U.S. Embassy issues carbon monoxide warning in Costa Rica after teen's tragic passing. A recent tragedy in Costa Rica has prompted a health alert from the U.S. Embassy, On March 21st, 2025, 14-year-old Miller Gardner, son of former New York Yankees outfielder Brett Gardner, passed from carbon monoxide poisoning while vacationing at the Arenas del Mar beachfront and rainforest resort in Manuel Antonio. Toxicology reports revealed a carbonohemoglobin level of 64% in his blood, significantly above the lethal threshold of carbon monoxide levels in the room, measuring 600 parts per million. In response, the U.S. Embassy in Costa Rica issued a health alert on April 15th, warning travelers about the risk of carbon monoxide exposure in accommodations lacking detectors. Unlike the U.S., Costa Rica does not mandate carbon monoxide detectors in hotels or vacation rentals. The embassy advises travelers to inquire about CO2 safety measures when booking and to consider bringing portable detectors. This tragedy follows similar CO passings, including 3 U.S. women in Belize in February 2025. Visitors can report concerns to OIJ at 506-2295-3000 or U.S. Embassy at 506-2519-2000. Now, note, I purchased one. I mentioned this subject a couple of times, and I purchased my CO2 meter. I just gave the second one. I bought a 2-pack. I gave the second one to my mom. I got a bone to pick about the U.S. government saying that it's mandated in hotels and beachfront properties or whatever, vacation properties, because other than, I think it's New York had one in my Airbnb 2 weeks ago. Jamaica had it a week ago in the room. But outside of that, I don't recall ever seeing these meters. Now, maybe I just haven't been paying attention, but no, I think I would notice a meter being on the wall. I don't know if every hotel in the U.S. has this meter. So still get your own and carry it with you, especially if you're going to go outside the country. Just my personal 2 cents. Lastly, over to Mexico. Ajijic, the Mexican paradise they want to hide from Trump, where Americans live like royalty. Nestled amongst the shores of Lake Chapala in Jalisco, Mexico, the town of Ajijic has become a haven for thousands of Americans seeking tranquility, safety, and a higher quality of life. According to the report by El Colombiano, Ajijic, which means place where the water springs forth, in Nahuatl, now hosts over 10,000 U.S. citizens who have embraced this picturesque village with their new home. One such resident, Keith Startling, a retiree, shared with the BBC his statements about life in Haiti. I live like a king. The town's welcoming atmosphere allows newcomers to immerse themselves in local culture, strolling along the Malecon, attending art workshops, and participating in trivia nights tailored for expatriates. This migration trend reflects a broader pattern with nearly 6 million Americans living abroad and approximately 1 million residing in Mexico. Many are drawn by the country's affordability, cultural richness, and a desire to escape the social and political tensions back home. Ajijic stands out as a prime example of this reverse migration, offering a serene and fulfilling lifestyle just 50 kilometers from Guadalajara. Now, I will say, I have been to Guadalajara. I have been to Lake Chapala. It is absolutely beautiful. I think that is either the largest lake in Mexico or the largest lake in Central America. I can't remember. But it's actually beautiful. Hopefully by the time I put this up, I'll find some video. But I would definitely say, visit this area. You will not be disappointed, especially if you go to Guadalajara and you take this 2-hour bus ride. You go by Vicente Fernandez's house, which is the Mexican Elvis. You go by the place where they're making the tequila. So if you're a tequila fan, they were drunk before we even got there because the driver had a bottle. He was sitting there that he was going to give the sample. And next thing I know, they would pass this bottle around and people were getting ready to get sick. I was like, man, it was a time. But I would definitely recommend Lake Chapala because there's little towns you can go along the lake as well, almost like Atilan, but without the view. No, it's different. It's different. But still, I would definitely suggest going there if you get to make sure you do the cliff dive that I did there too. And look, we'll find that video that I've done and maybe that'll encourage you to even attempt it yourself. But anyway, you are up to date with the latest news out of Colombia as well as Latin America. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to travel, but travel safe.
I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure you go down and hit subscribe. And definitely like. It helps that YouTube algorithm. You know what I'm talking about? See what I'm saying?
So, hey girl, thanks for coming by my place.
No worries. You mind if our girlfriend can come by with us?
Hell no. This is why I watch dcbornrob.
Excited, dili na mag-online. Dun sa may dugayan, chika babes kay nasulan. Ay dali padulan, ako ang padulan. Para may lumluman, dili-dili na tuluman. Ay, shock ka, makalok-kalok ka. Si Bona sexy, lawas murag ko saag. Wala ko ikatubag, ikaw ra kong matawag. Mura kagabun sa kabugnaw sa taas. Sa imong paghawas, lawas ni mo lapas. Sinut walay gas-gas, ako amo basbas.
Headed to Medellin, Colombia? See my guy Andres with Nomad Travel for safe airport pickups and drop-offs and tours. Contact information in the description below.